Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome in. It is the Kansas post race review. Tyler Reddick ends up taking it away on the last restart. He battled up against his boss, who had some speed. It was the two of them at the end of the race, but the driver from the 2311 vehicle wins it over the driver from JGR and the number 11. Let's get into it. The second round of the round of 16.
Let's go racing today, boys!
How's it going, everyone? Hopefully, you're having a wonderful Sunday. We had a tremendous race for you this afternoon. One of the best race that I can remember here recently here at Kansas. I know we've had some good racing, but it just seemed like throughout the entire race, we had some really, really good racing, and definitely enjoyed myself. I feel like the playoffs have definitely lived up so far. We've had two playoff drivers win so far in Kyle Larson and also in Tyler Reddick now, and it was about as good as it gets for me. I would rate this if we're going ahead and just jumping right into did we like the race? Then yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I would say that it had about everything you can imagine. We had some guys moving up front. We had some guys moving in the middle, 3 and 4 wide. We had again strategy take hold. The only thing that kind of dampened it a little bit was the tires from Goodyear, which we'll get to that here in the race review. But overall, I thought today was a really, really good race and definitely enjoyed a lot of it from what we saw. We got tons of storylines. 2311 wins this race in back-to-back years, and we had drivers that were looking really, really good. And unfortunately, with things out of their control, just weren't able to keep things going. So whether it be from tire issues, pit road issues, a whole just multitude of different things. So yes, this is the race review. So let's go ahead and jump in with the graphic real quick with the race recap, and then we'll break everything down line by line, storyline by storyline. All right. So the first topic for the post race show is that Tyler Reddick wins today's race. Tyler Reddick and 2311, both drivers actually, had a lot of speed at the beginning of this race. And unfortunately for one driver, Bubba Wallace, he was unable to capture a really good finish due to a tire issue, which we'll get to in a little bit anyway. Tyler Reddick was able to stay up front. He was battling with his boss, Denny Hamlin, for most of the second half of this race. They had two different types of pit strategies, and they got close to each other about within a second, and it looked like Denny Hamlin was going to run away with it, but we had an issue with a tire. Again, we'll get to those later as well, but a late restart, Christopher Buescher gets into the wall due to a tire going down, and we have four drivers. I believe Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and I want to say there was one more driver. I know for a fact there was one more driver. Maybe Eric Jones. I think it was Eric Jones. Take two tires. Daniel Suarez didn't take any tires at all. He just stayed out. And that pushed a lot of the people back into the overtime restart. Denny Hamlin, I have no idea what the hell he was doing. He was like maybe 3 car lengths away from Kyle Busch on the restart and had a horrific start. And just by the time he finally got things going, he just too little too late there at the end to get it going. So, Denny Hamlin lets one slip through. He's doing really, really good on points, but Tyler Reddick no longer has to worry about points moving into the next round. He is locked in with the win. Now, topic number 2. It's the first time this year that we've had to bring up Goodyear. We've brought up Goodyear for the opposite reasons. We've said that Goodyear has had quite a few tires this year that were just like rock hard. They just didn't have any type of wear, didn't have any type of give. And that didn't happen today. We saw Kyle Larson pit after having 3-lap older tires than he took new tires. His tires were only 3 laps old. He pitted and then gained like 15 to 20 positions in a matter of 20 laps. So the tire degradation was certainly there today. But one of the issues that we saw starting in practice with both Kyle Busch and William Byron was blowing a right rear. And it did not matter what the make was today. Everybody fell victim to it. Martin Truex Jr. fell victim to it. Christopher Buescher fell victim to it. Bubba Wallace fell victim to the tire issues. So everybody today was having issues when it came to the right rear tire giving away. Austin Dillon, another driver as well. And it just simply sucks for them because when we look at the playoffs, I can't remember the last time I said the regular season champion after 2 races in the round of 12, or excuse me, the round of 12 is on the outside looking in. It's been a very, very long time that I can even remember it's been that way close. It's the round of 16. Apologies. The round of 16. I mean, you get so many points. I think on the television today, they said like the regular season champion usually just points his way into the round of 8, which is 2 rounds. Martin Truex Jr., after today finishing dead last, is on the outside looking in. And, it's a lot of it was due to the Goodyear tires, and there's something that you couldn't control. He literally got on the radio and said, I think I got a tire going down, and then hit the wall. So it's unfortunate. Of course, it adds drama, but if it's your guy that's going to lose laps, placement, possibly kicked out of the playoffs for something he can't control, that's really, really unfortunate. They said that they thought he ran over something on pit road or possibly the track, which would have been like the first 3 laps. I'm not sure how much I believe that. And then we saw everybody else had the same issues. So I don't know if I believe that at all, but that was the story that Goodyear went with. And then Joe Gibbs Racing possibly ran some cover for them as well. But now, because of the issues with Goodyear, Martin Truex Jr. is on the outside of the playoffs looking in. He is minus 3 or 4 points, and I'll bring it up here in a minute. And it's baffling. Martin Truex Jr. was dominating before the playoffs started. I mean, we were talking about on this show that the only issue that we had with Martin Truex Jr. so far was the fact that most of the time when he wins, his races are really, really boring. And now with what happened last week at Darlington and the issue that he had, and now wrecking 4 laps into the race, all those points from being the regular season champion, 30-plus points, are all gone. He is in the lower 4th. And we mentioned it here just a few minutes ago that multiple playoff drivers had issues during this race. Again, Bubba Wallace, now on the outside looking in. Bubba Wallace had speed. He was in second place, I believe, whenever he ended up wrecking. It was either second or third, but he had all kinds of speed. Christopher Buescher, another top 10 finish on the way with 7 laps to go before wrecking. William Byron, wrecks his car in practice. He did spin out today, but that was because he got loose. He did that by himself. Had nothing to do with the tire issue. Christopher Bell, for God's sakes, what in the hell is his team pit crew doing? I mean, they cannot get it right. They absolutely cannot get it right. They've been horrific. And when I say horrific, I mean absolutely horrific trying to do pit stops. They had 3 incidents today. 3. Not since the playoffs started. 3 incidents on pit road today. And it's unexcusable at this point. They've been one of the best pit crews in all of the playoffs. And then whenever push comes to shove on the biggest time of the year, when you got to nut up or shut up, they've not done it. I mean, they messed up twice last week, 3 times this week. They switched Ty Gibbs over to Christopher Bell, his crew, and it has not worked. It has been a catastrophic failure, and I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Gibbs says, you know what, let's just go ahead and switch this back around. It has not worked. So, again, Christopher Bell getting no help. And he was fast again. I mean, he had the pole. A lot of the reasons that Christopher Bell has not been successful is mainly because of what has happened to him on pit road. But let's go ahead and look at the finishing order here real quick. Here you have it. Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick finished 1-2. Eric Jones had a really, really strong car today. Not 2311, but Legacy Motor Club has shown some speed here recently. They've done really, really well. Kyle Larson was fourth. Joey Logano salvages his day by taking 2 tires at the end, gained 20-some positions. By doing that, Chase Elliott with a top 10. He beat out Kyle Busch. Christopher Bell with an 8th. Brad Keselowski, again, with RFK, really, really fast today, especially on a 1.5 miles, which they typically aren't. Kevin Harvick, not enough for what he needed. He should have been better today. He needed to be better today, and unfortunately he wasn't. He's been fast at Bristol, but still needs to get it done. Ryan Blaney, not too good. Another issue on pit road. Ross Chastain mired in the back most of this one. William Byron, after he spun out, lost a ton of speed. And, nothing really spectacular. Christopher Buescher, because of that last restart, didn't do well. Michael McDowell, no speed today. And then you have Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, both of them involved in an accident, and with it not being their fault due to the right rear tire just giving out. So, lastly, let's look at the playoff standings. We have, let me hide this real quick for you guys. Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick have made their way into the playoffs. Denny Hamlin, William Byron are pretty much locked in. You can almost guarantee that they will not be kicked out of the playoffs. Brad Keselowski close as well. Blaney and Busch have to have really solid runs. And if they get some playoff points in the beginning of Bristol, they should be fine. Ross Chastain, the same thing. Christopher Buescher, that really hurt. He probably would have been 19, 20 points to the good. And then here's where things go. Joey Logano on that last pit stop by Paul Wolf, was +2 and now is +12. So that's really, really good for him. Bell has done solid at Bristol. He's still pretty solid in the points. Kevin Harvick, again. Here's your issues. Martin Truex Jr., not a good short track racer. Now he goes to Bristol. Bubba Wallace has not been good at Bristol, -19 points. Ricky Stenhouse has been solid at Bristol, but he's so far back, he needs something major to happen to one of these drivers for him to get in. And then Michael McDowell is in a win and get in situation. So those are your playoff standings as it currently sits. So, it was a great race. I unfortunately had a rough day with my Bengals. The $275 million man looked like he was on clearance and possibly at a yard sale here soon with Joe Burrow today. Definitely not good, but got treated to watching a very, very good race. We'll probably be getting closer to later, depending upon how my schedule works out. I am a Cincinnati Bengals season ticket holder, so I will be coming home and watching the races. I don't like to follow along with the races when I'm not watching them. I like to watch them as a whole organically and just skip through the commercials. And then, so don't be surprised if we start doing some race recaps around 9, 10 o'clock during the football season. Not that racing comes second, just passionately been a Bengals fan my entire life and enjoy doing that being a season ticket holder. But we'll definitely give you a in-depth race review where we break everything down, just like I watched the entire race today. And we'll be doing the same thing going forward. It's not me watching the highlights and try to just throw a couple things at you to get some views. It will be as in-depth as any other time that we've done it. So that's going to do it for us. We'll have a weekly show. We'll break down any other news that we hear. I would suspect that we might be getting some scheduling news moving forward. So that'll be a big topic. Some more silly season news as well. So everything in the NASCAR world still moving on. Tyler Reddick, your winner today at Kansas. We go to Bristol, baby. Have a good rest of your Sunday.